Welcome back, everybody. Well, a lot has changed in the pandemic, including what we are doing in the bedroom. A large study conducted by Kinsey Institute reveals what people think sex will look like when this whole pandemic is over.
So how hot will our sex lives be in the future? Here to set the record straight is our very own resident relationship expert. Oh, what's the name again? Cynthia Loyst.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So, let's get right into it. How has COVID what effect has it had on our relationships?
So I think it's affected our relationships in really provocative and profound ways. So as you mentioned, Mel, off the top, this study was done with 2,000 people, in part by the Kinsey Institute. And their interest was in investigating how people's relationships and sex lives have been impacted by COVID, and then to make kind of predictions about where that information might lead in the future and what they think post-pandemic sex and relationships will look like. And it's an interesting snapshot to think about where we're headed. There's no one simple answer, but what you can say for sure is that this pandemic has changed our sexuality in fascinating ways that I'm not sure that maybe everyone would expect.
Well, I love that, Tease. Speaking of which, why don't we do this as we know how to do, which is have fun. We're going to play a little true or false game. And Cynthia, you have a list of predictions, and you want us to guess the answer if these are true or false. We all have these beautiful paddles here. Thank you to our production team. So let's do this.
I want people at home to play too, okay? So here is the first one. According to this study of 2,000 people, the casual hookup is over. Is that true or false? You can discuss amongst yourselves.
Ooh, I think it's true.
What do you think?
I think it's true. I don't think people are going to be
It's hard to be
casual
casual these days when, like, you don't know, like, I mean, there's COVID and, like, you would have to rapid test someone before going casual.
Give us an answer, Lainey.
Okay.
We were supposed to discuss.
I know, I liked it, but it is true. The answer is true. You guys are so smart. We indeed may be nearing the end, the death, in fact, of the one-night stand. So over half of the respondents to this survey said they're just not that into it anymore. And 64% said they're no longer as interested as having more than one sexual partner at a time. It's too complicated,
Because it's a lot of
too
rapid
risky.
tests. It's a lot of rapid
It's a lot of
tests.
rapid testing. And then over 60%, this is interesting, said that they're actually going out of their way to prioritize a deeper connection as opposed to a casual one. So, I mean, do you guys think that the sort of like abject terror of the pandemic, or just the logistics of making sure everyone's safe has led to people wanting more meaning out of their relationships?
I think we've lost, you don't have to give in to being so impulsive. Because if there's anything we've all learned over the pandemic is patience, just waiting and being with yourself. So I think we've all maybe learned a little impulse control, including with horniness.
I just love that. Beautiful. Okay, the second prediction. Here we go. Sex robots are coming for you. Is this true or false?
I don't know what that means coming for you, but I think I do.
I want it to be false, but I think it might be true because of the same reasons that you just sort of talked about in the first thing.
Okay, you guys are very smart. Yes, the fact is that this is true. And I'm kind of excited about it. I'm curious why Jess is not into this idea, but let me get into some of the information. So necessity is, of course, the mother of invention, and nowhere is this more true than during the pandemic. So in particular, devices that have seen a real rise in popularity are ones that are interactive, immersive, and of course, connecting people. You think about it, for all the reasons we had to be apart, we found ways to connect. So the speculation is that in the future, we're going to see much more virtual sex, much more of the use of teledildonics. Are we aware of what teledildonics are? So teledildonics are when you have a pleasure device that is connected to your smart device and that you can use remotely with somebody. You can control what that pleasure device does on someone else's body. And then also the prediction is that we're going to see more artificial erotic agents, like more chatbots, more robots. In fact, there's a whole industry emerging called erobotics, like erotic robots. And I'm just going to say this. If you're looking for a business idea, this industry of sex tech is one of the ones that has just accelerated during the pandemic. It was like pandemic proof. So just putting that out there.
Woo, side hustle.
Yeah, I'm right on it.
Get right on it. Jess, are you going to just have a word about why you're afraid of sex bots?
Well, I am still confused. You're like, Jess, I can't believe you're afraid by this sentence. Sex robots are coming for you. I'm like, that sounds terrifying.
Okay, sorry. I put it in a terrifying way. Okay, so sorry.
And
Yeah,
maybe
it's not
they
like
need
Terminator.
better vocabulary, though, Cynthia, because teledildonics does not do it for me.
Nope.
Like,
we're gonna work
if
on
someone
that.
invited me to do a teledildonic with them, I would be like, no thanks. It's not exactly in the mood.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Next, speed dating is going to increase when restrictions lift. True or false? What do we think?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I think it's
Okay.
false.
We've lost
I
2
think people want
years.
to slow
go.
down.
It's about like feast or famine. Like after all kinds of famine, you just want to feast.
It's not the vibe.
I know.
No, it's not the vibe.
I know. Yeah, Jess is correct. It is actually false. Right now, by all accounts, it seems like things are going to slow right down, even when restrictions are down. And the normal approach, which was sort of just swipe, have drinks, maybe why not hop in bed, is going to be more like, let's swipe, let's connect virtually online first, let me find out about your vaccination status, let me maybe meet with you in person at some point, maybe we'll have a kiss, and just slow things down.
Slow
33%
dating.
said that they wanted to. Yeah, exactly. 33% said they wanted to wait longer to even meet in person in the first place. 37% said they wanted to wait longer to have sex. And then also a whopping 70% said that even when the restrictions are gone, they want to continue doing voice chatting, remote chatting online first before meeting up in person. Because they have a lot of money.
Did you
how
know
this
that
breaks down with
also
age?
80% said
Yeah.
that they wanted to make sure their teledildonics were charged as well before they actually get together.
And stay charged. But here's my question to you, Cynthia. In terms of sexual behavior, is there a difference between how someone behaves when they're filling out a survey and like when that opportunity is right there in front of them? Like I can
Sure.
say for sure, I'm gonna be good and not do this. And then, I don't know, when the teledildonic comes in over the phone, let's go, right? Like
Listen,
then all your
of course, we could do a whole subject on how surveys or research is done and the nuances within that. But I think that what you've got here is kind of an indication that the Weimar Berlin swinging, 20s that we were expecting may be something, but it's not quite the full picture. So I think we have time for one more prediction. This is one that we've heard a lot about in the news over the course of this pandemic, and this is it. Everyone is getting a divorce after the pandemic. True or false?
Oh.
We've got 90 seconds, guys.
I
Okay,
choose
false.
love.
You guys are
choose
correct.
love.
Ding, 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 ding. It is false. There was that assumption that, like, with cabin fever and living on top of each other and having our kids, that everyone was going to be getting divorces. According to this survey, only 7% of people who actually even fantasized, and let's face it, we all did it, about leaving their partners, actually intend to do it. A solid 50% actually say that their relationship is better now after being through this pandemic. And in fact, only 23% of men and 14% of women report that they feel like they would have been happier single during the pandemic. So, I mean, just to sum up, I feel like where we're headed is going to be interesting. The post-pandemic years is going to be more about like doing it better, doing it more authentically, and maybe pushing back on this idea that getting some is having it all.
This has been so much fun, Sid.
I do like that. I do like the the juxtaposition between doing it authentically and doing it teledildonically. That is a very interesting relationship there.
So much, Cynthia. We learned a lot. Like it's really good food for thought. And personally, I just like thinking of life post-pandemic, anything. So this is a little glimmer of hope. So thanks for bringing that to us. If you want more on sex and relationships from Cynthia, check out her website, findyourpleasure.com. You can also pick up her book, Find Your Pleasure, at local bookstores. And you can celebrate Valentine's Day. You've got CTV movies on hand. You've got shows and more, all available to stream now on ctv.ca and the CTV app. So happy watching there as well. Maybe it'll help you. I was going to go somewhere and I'm not. I'm just going to throw it a break. Thanks.